going on? What's up, y'all? I'm Ron from Around Our Hive, and this is the Art of Creating Yourself, a place where artists and creators alike share their unique perspectives on how they create themselves every day. I'm here with Jorden Kyle. How you living, my guy?
What's going on, Ron? I'm good, bro. I appreciate you for having me.
No, it's
Yes,
all
sir.
love. It's all love. Appreciate you for coming on. And here at the Art of Creating
Of
Yourself,
course.
we like to let the guests give their full introduction. So why don't you tell us, where you're from, what you do, and who you are?
It's good. I appreciate that. Well, yeah, thank you again for having me, Ron.
No problem.
Um, as you mentioned earlier, I go by Jorden Kyle. I'm a 24-year-old singer-songwriter, producer, independent musician, currently coming out of the Bay Area of California. Yeah, I think best way I like to describe my music is it's a mixture of everything, but it's mainly a lot of trap. It's a lot of R&B, some pop elements in there. And I would just describe myself as a singer, a crooner, someone who loves talking about their flaws, their faults, making dark melodic music that you can vibe out to, bro. I need it to be hard. I need it to be dark and focused on feelings. That's the type of shit that I write about. So that's who I am. Yeah.
Yeah, dark vibes that are dark and melodic. For I get that tone, 100%.
If it's too happy, bro, I run the other direction. I'm a happy person. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but the music gotta have the music's gotta have some sort of goal. You know what I
hmm
mean? And if being happy is the goal that everyone says, my goal is to be happy. I'm sure your goal is to be happy. What is there to write about if you're totally satisfied? You know what I mean?
Mm. Now that you
I
bring
don't
up a
know.
good
That's just my
point.
unique. That's my unique perspective. Maybe one day I'll write about being happy, but until then, I'm gonna bring the dark shit.
No, and you bring up a good point, and I hear artists talk about this all the time. I think about this all the time as a listener, as an audience member.
Right?
Artists are not their art all the time, and by that I mean like
Of course not.
the feelings that you're expressing, or like the point that you're trying to get across isn't always your current mental state, your current emotional state. Like you say,
Facts.
you're a happy guy, right? You like to have fun, you like to be happy. I mean, I don't think you're purposely trying to be dark and melodic in your life, but like the type of music you like to make, that's what it is. And like the type of vibe you
Right.
try to give, like that's what it is. Like, why don't you talk about the difference in just like your day to day emotions, and just the art that
Of
you
course.
create.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's always been a constant struggle. I've been kind of dipping into the music scene ever since I was a freshman in high school. So it was like 2012, 2013. Started taking it really seriously when I changed to my current, name. And that
hmm
was like in late 2018. And I think that's always been like the biggest struggle is like, how am I going to intersect who I am as a, I guess maybe this isn't the best term, but a normal human being, and then who I am as a music personality. Like, my government name versus Jorden Kyle. You feel me? So I definitely think they're getting closer more than ever. But I would say, it's with it, like what I was mentioning, like the dark side of music. Maybe I'm not always in that mindset, but like now I know exactly what tools I need mentally and physically to pull from different aspects of my life so I can tell those stories and make it really genuine. Because there are a lot of things that I be saying in my music. Maybe it's not something I'm doing or going through, or maybe I'm talking about something that I don't have in this current moment, but I know the vision. I know exactly what I need to put out into the universe, what energy I need to expel from myself in order to achieve that. You know what I mean? So I would say half of it is pulling from my past experiences I've had to bring it to my present through the music, and the other half is manifesting destiny. You know what I mean? It's it's a balance, and I think, like I was mentioning earlier, I'm getting closer who I am as a person when I'm not working on music to who I am as a musician than I ever was. But that's always going to be a struggle. You know what I mean? It's always going to be like, maybe I'm not like to the point where I'm checking myself, like, am I being genuine? Am I? Because I mean, I feel like I'm pretty naturally genuine at this point, but it's always going to be a question like, am I reflecting in my music who I really am? And I don't know if I'll ever 100% be it, but I'm gonna try my best. You know what I mean?
No, that's for real too. And I mention this all the time, as you continue to create, and as your life just continues to like change and evolve, like the person who you are changes and evolve, but also like the artist that you are changes and evolve too.
Right.
So sometimes they don't go in the
Right.
same direction. You know, you try your best to try to like get a handle on both situations and just like a balance, like you said, like you use the word balance. Like
Right.
I'm Jorden
Mm-hmm.
Kyle here, and like when I'm outside of being Jorden Kyle, like I still want to keep this same persona to a certain amount, but also like sometimes it makes sense too, and sometimes it's just there's a time and a place for everything, and it might not be the time or the place.
Of course, and I think that's life as well. Like, and that's just even if for someone who may not be an artist, like Jorden Kyle is one of my many energies. You know what I mean? I mean, it's who I am. Don't get me wrong. I'm always Jorden Kyle, but like certain aspects, like some the Jorden Kyle that you hear on my harder songs versus the Jorden Kyle you hear on slower songs. More laid back songs. I would say, if I'm going to rephrase what we just discussed, I would say I'm always Jorden Kyle, but which personality of that? There's different layers to it, especially being an artist. Like I think nowadays people's attention spans are extremely short, bro. And I'm not attacking anyone in particular, like myself too, bro. I'd be getting bored mad easy, bro. I'd be working on a song, like my roommates and my girl, they tell me all the time, why do you have so many fucking half done songs? I'd be getting bored of it, bro. I'm sitting there, like, how about you? You want to listen to the same song 100 times and then still be interested? Sometimes you got to step away.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like I was mentioned, there's layers to an artist persona. There's layers to being a human, and there's, like you mentioned, there's a time and a place, and there's times where I want to be a happy-go-lucky type of dude, and there's times where I may be tapping into energies that are a little, maybe negative is not the right word, but maybe darker. Maybe I'm going through
Hmm.
something, and it's gonna come out in the music regardless. You know what I mean? Whether it's whatever type of vibe it is, laid back, trap, hard type of shit. Discussing faults and flaws and pain, but
Hmm.
it's all part of the process. Just like a regular human being, they grow up and they have different experiences every day, different moods, mood swings. Sometimes I'll be going through a little bit of mania. I think one. I don't want to last too long on this question, but the one
Now you
last thing
get
I
it.
do want to add is there's a lot of periods, especially throughout the last few months, gearing up towards the release of my album, which we'll talk about.
Hmm.
There's a lot of periods where I would have like a week where I'm like really driven and I'm posting every day and I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm tapping in, I'm actually putting my face to the camera and talking to people that fuck with me, And then there's weeks where I just want to shut off. Maybe I'm still working on music, but I don't have it's like a confidence thing, bro. Like if
Yeah.
I see something and I'm like, damn, man, like I'm not at that level. Maybe I should just shut up. Nothing I'm gonna post is gonna be as interesting as that person's thing. Or
Hmm.
I be comparing myself too much, bro. That's my biggest flaw. You know what I mean? That shit hurts. It sucks. But I'm working on it, getting better at it.
Yeah, that's a constant struggle just in this social
It's
media
facts.
content day and age. Is like a lot of the stuff that we see come across our feed, the people that we don't know specifically, is viral, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, this is
Right.
viral. Like I might not, I can't, I don't know if I could do this today. I don't know if I could literally go viral today if I wanted to. It's outside of my control, right? So
Right.
you start doubting yourself a little bit, like, man, I might think I don't know if you start comparing, I might make better content than that person, or I think my ability, my talent is better than that person. But that person went viral, like you start to get in your head a little bit, like, why them, and it
I,
starts to get you jaded a little
yeah.
bit, a
I
little bit.
think. I, I think one thing, and I do want to talk about this because I think it's important for all
Mm,
artists, especially people like us who make music and or content creators and they interview
mm,
artists and talk to artists. Now we're in the age of TikTok, bro. And
mm,
I think right now, 2022, I think this all kind of started when COVID-19 swept the nation, the world, and
mm.
everything. Like I mentioned earlier, people have very short attention spans, and I think the things that are popping off right now are simple, more simplified than
Yeah.
ever. You know what I mean? And like I put so much work into my music, and I used to want to put the same amount of effort, if not more effort, into the promotion, into the rollout. But like discussing with my team, with my homies, with my manager DEO, he's like, bro, we just need to get this album out.
Hmm.
Put it out, and then whatever you need to do afterwards can come afterwards. I think like I used to put so much emphasis on like gearing up towards the release or gearing up towards a climax of something. But then I'm
Hmm.
like, like it's out now. You gotta. I caught the ball. Now I got to take it to the end zone. You know what I mean? And that's the longest part of the journey. You know what I mean? It's not. It's not really like the destination. Maybe a destination is putting a project out. Maybe a destination is for you putting an interview out. But it's what comes after the reactions, understanding what people liked about what you did, what people didn't like about what you did. It's all a process, man. And at the end of the day, you have this wide vision, right?
Hmm.
And our goal is to get tunnel vision. That can be good or bad. Let me expand on that. But our goal is to understand exactly what we need to do to succeed. And at the beginning, we're going to start with this wide angle view of everything we think we need.
Hmm.
But then through reactions, learning, growing through what we've already done and put out, we're going to start to narrow down into what lane we truly need to be in. And I feel like that's the process that I'm in currently right now, like today. So it's all a process, man. Many layers to the artist persona and what we do, but we're gonna figure it out. You know what I mean?
We're going to
Day
try.
by
We're going
day,
to try.
bro.
Yeah. We're going to try. And you talked about something that I definitely wanted to pick your mind about, which is your
Yeah.
versatility versus kind of focusing your talent. And and
Okay.
you kind of preluded to this, right? We talked about pre-interview, like, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes ago, how the first time I met you, we were in the studio, and I don't know, somebody played like 10 to 15 beats, and you just did 16 bars to just straight freestyle to all 10 beats. And you're like, you're just picking beats that you may think about making a full song to, you might think about mixing, mastering, and producing a project or
Right.
product for. And you was like, oh, okay, yeah, this one's kind of cool. But you was killing every single beat, right? And they were different beats. They weren't like, some were like your style, like dark and melodic, but some were like real poppy, and then some were just like classic lyrical rap stuff. And
Right.
just judging by that one moment, that 15 minutes, and like your versatility is crazy, right? So
Appreciate
you
that, brother.
have
Thank you.
no problem. Yeah, you have the ability to do so many different lanes, and you choose to kind of like focus on this, dark and melodic vibe kind of like feel. So why don't you talk about just how you choose that lane when, in my opinion, you can do whatever you want to do, just because you're skill and your talent.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Yeah, and like I do want to start out by saying I appreciate you for picking up on that. That means a lot. And I know I was kind of going on forever, forever, bro. Like I appreciate you guys for sitting there and not telling me to shut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Like to more directly answer your question, I think it's important to understand from an artist perspective, like
Hmm.
how they start out. Every artist starts out as a listener, as a
Hmm.
studier of the game. You know what I mean? Even like when hip hop was originating, they were studying a lot of jazz. A lot of different genres. So I would say everyone is a learner. There's a book that I have. It's actually like right back here on the shelf. I think it's called like How to Steal Like an Artist. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And like people always think of the word steal is like a very it has a lot of connotations. It's like a very derogatory word. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, very
I
much
think
so.
a better way to think of it is borrow or be influenced by or like change or flipping things, a remix or whatever. But like
Hmm.
I would say when it comes to that, bringing it back to being a listener. I'm a listener first. I'm an artist second. If
Hmm.
I'm not listening and gaining perspective through music, listening to people from different cultures. I just want to make it very clear. I'm a guest in the house of hip hop. You know what I mean? I owe any successes that I have. I owe to that culture. To Black
Hmm.
culture, and I think like being a white person in this space, I'm gonna always have to be a listener first and a speaker second. And I'm totally fine with that role. We need to be okay with that role.
Hmm.
Um, and I think doing that, listening to so many different genres, I listen to everything, bro. Like it's I'm gonna put myself on blast. Like it's to the point where if Taylor Swift drops an album, I'm gonna listen to it just to see what she's doing. Anything, bro. Like
New
literally
T
anything. Like
Swizzle on
my
the
home.
way.
I know, bro. I heard about that. I got a homegirl Holly who loves her music, bro. I'm just like it's not 100% for me, but at the end of the day, bro, if it's an artist making something, I need to be a studier of anything, bro. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I think shutting myself off is like a lost opportunity. You know what I mean? So I listen to everything. I listen to new, old, different genres. I think the only thing I really don't be slapping too much is country, but I respect the
Hmm.
hustle. It's not for me, but at the end of the day, like I respect it. I need to respect everything because that's someone's form of self-expression, and who am I to like
Hmm.
downplay that? You know what I mean? I would
Mm,
hate if they did the same to me. So I think being a listener has opened me up to a lot of versatility. And how I got started in music was when I was living with my folks back in Tracy, bro. Anytime my moms would leave, my dad was always at work. So anytime my moms would leave to go to like the store or anything, I pull up YouTube, bro. I start freestyling. Like it was only just me. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want no one to hear me. I would go upstairs. I didn't even want my pets to hear me, bro. I would lock myself in a room and just practice lines, line after line. I'd write shit. Sometimes I wouldn't, but it was just fun, bro. You know what I mean? Like I would suck, but then over the years I would start to get better and better, and eventually in high school started doing it in front of people. People's like, "Oh shit, this white boy going crazy," you know, and I was like, "Oh shit, you know, here we go, bro. Here we go." Yeah, so it blossomed into something incredible, bro. You know, but
mm,
I think it's important to understand if you're looking at an artist and you're noticing versatility. I think it all starts from the listener's perspective, you know, because music is a very wide landscape. There's so many
mm,
different types of music, so many different types of artistry and stories to listen to and behold. And I study everything, and I think
mm,
that's why it's reflected in my artistry. You know, I think it's just only natural because there's so much in my head. It comes out in many different forms.
mm,
Um, but when it comes to the genre and style that I've chosen to really drive myself into, you know, like that dark melodic trap type of stuff,
mm,
I think, like I was describing earlier, it's as I feel myself as an artist and as a person, we're all layered, right? I'm very layered, as I'm sure you're very layered.
mm.
And like that style of music is so many different layers of so many things. It's like you have, you know, it originates from hip hop, and then you bring in like these this crazy instrumentation, and it's like you're piling it with just like you're singing your heart out, but you're talking about such dark stuff. It's so many layers to that genre,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of people doing that genre right now, but I think I have a unique take on it that, you know, it's influenced by certain artists, like we were just talking about baby
Mm,
well baby, you know, um I think Dirk is another artist that is has tapped into that genre like perfectly.
mm,
um, and I don't know, bro. There's just like something about feeling very moody and very like, because when I started out as Jorden Kyle, I was kind of influenced by like the way that The Weeknd started his career. You know, like you
mm.
never saw his face, you didn't really know his name. His voice was his image. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The voice spoke for itself. That's kind of the vibe I was going for. And then
Mm,
I would say like over the years, I found out my style. I figured out who I was. I started to feel more comfortable in my skin with how I looked, with how I acted, with my mind. You know what I mean? And I just think it naturally shifted towards that style of music, and I'm glad it worked out that way because that's the style of music I was very comfortable in. But at the end of the day, I'm always open to any type of style because I think it's important to break out of that shell, not get stuck in one lane, if that makes sense.
mm.
But um, I think it's a very simple to answer the question very simply. It's just I love that style of music. It's just always clicked with me. I love how it sounds, and I love replicating it. So
No, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it does say something, just like you were talking about the layers and just you being able to do as a listener, you've enjoying so many other different types of music and then still like learning and creating from those different styles and putting it into the style that you love so much, as being still a student
yeah,
of this game and continuing to evolve that sound. It does say something that, you continue to come back to it, even when you don't have to, it's just something that you're comfortable with in terms of expressing your art, but also just, there's so
hmm
many levels and layers to it that you can just keep on evolving it and keep on adding it so that, like you said, it doesn't get stale. Like you don't get bored with it. So, because
right.
at the end of the day, if you as an artist don't rock with what you're doing, it's hard to be that image all the time.
People can tell when you're uninspired. People can tell when you're uninspired creative. It's written on, not you in particular,
No,
but like
yeah.
as you as a general. It's written on that person, on your face, bro, and that person's face.
Uh,
Like I know when you ain't about what you talking about. I know when you're not enjoying the process, and like there are a lot of people who I have surrounded myself with recently and in my past where I'm like, bro, you gotta come to this truth within yourself. Like,
Mm,
not that like music's not for them, not that what they're doing is not for them, but like you just don't look satisfied, and you're
mm,
rushing something here,
mm,
and you gotta really take it back. I think the most important thing to ask yourself as a creative is, what are you in this for?
mm,
You know what I mean? Like, yes, we all want to be successful. Yes, we want our songs to be on charts, and we want to be loved by people. But at the end of the
mm,
day, bro, you have to enjoy where you are and what you have. And I think the process of creating is the most important part, because there may be a day or time, or there may come a time and place where maybe social media gets, I don't know, for the love of God, hacked or some shit. And we can't spread our art on a wide scale. You got to enjoy just having it and being able
mm.
to enjoy what you've made, enjoy what, like, the process of creating, because you can't base your passion off the love of others. You have to love it yourself, and that's where it starts, and that's where it's going to end, bro. We came into this world alone. We finna dip out of it alone. You know what I mean? So take the skills and take the tools that you've grown with, throughout your life, and enjoy what you have. You know what I mean? So that's what it is for me,
No,
anyway. At
yeah,
least.
you're right. I mean, there's a level of just appreciation that goes through your art, just being able to do
Right.
something like this. Because, like you said, it's social media age. 20 years they weren't able to do this. They couldn't just put their music out wide scale to millions, potentially billions of people
Right.
with a click of a few buttons or taps of a few screen. Like it's not to be taken lightly. It's
It's not. It's not. And I think, like, one interesting thing I do want to drop in here real quick, because we're on that
mm,
topic.
yeah,
Social media is an amazing tool, but I
mm,
think, like, one thing I really do want to try is, I'm just going to do it. I think I want to print CDs. I want to make
guerrilla
business cards.
marketing.
I want to go out to, like, the city, bro, and hand my tape out, just like they used to, like back in 2010. Like, my manager DEO, he was part of a rap duo with his homie Money Always. He used to go by Even
Mm,
Odds,
yes, sir.
and like they was making waves in the city, bro. They were making big waves, and bro, they would stand by Blondie's Pizza on Embarcadero. They would hand their tape out, and
Uh,
like, I think that's so cool. I did that a little bit in high school growing up, but like, I want to get down in the mud with it. I want someone to look at me and say, "I will never listen to you." I need to hear that, bro. It's going to
hmm.
strengthen me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm not scared of that. I think, like, having someone be interested in your art and, like, totally all in, like all bets, like all money in. That's
Hmm.
just as important as someone telling you that they want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You need to experience that, bro. You
It's
know
a
what I mean?
balance.
Like, you gotta go through the bad shit to enjoy the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I think, like just, talking with DEO about that process, and that grassroots type of marketing. Like, I think that's something I need to experience, even though we may not be in the age of that anymore. Like,
Hmm.
I think it's going to be important for building character. And I think
Hmm.
all artists, even though I haven't done it yet, I will. I think everyone should try it. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be dope to just put a face to the name and get out there and not just be a person behind a screen. I'm a human being. I go
Hmm.
outside sometimes, not as much anymore because I got the studio. But no, I'm just playing. But I,
There
I
you
want to give
go.
that a shot.
Yeah.
It's important.
And you were talking about, and you keep mentioning all these different like tools at your disposal, right? Social media is a tool. Like you said,
Right.
guerrilla marketing. If you were out there handing out CDs, signing babies, kissing foreheads, or whatever they call it,
Right.
posters, flyers. That's also a tool. But
Facts.
you've just invested into yourself with the studio that we see behind you. I remember you talking a few months ago. You're like, "Yeah, I got all this equipment coming in. We're about to do this," and you sounded so like excited, and like you're now to the point where you're like, "Oh, I'm living in my studio," and
Yeah.
that's something crazy because now you've developed it into the ability to or the relationship kind of between like investing in yourself, but believing in yourself as well, and investing in
Right.
yourself is the doing of the believing in yourself. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, for sure. And I appreciate you bringing that up.
Mm-hmm.
I think a goal for any artist, whether you're a musician, a painter, a dancer, is to have a place where you can go to do what you love. right?
Mm.
And that can come in many forms. That can come with many levels. Like at the end of the day, I remember back in like 2013, I got an iMac for
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, and I was literally working on that, bro. Just the iMac. I was producing in Logic Pro. I think it was 9
Whew.
off the iMac speakers, bro. It didn't even
Mm-hmm.
have monitors. Um, and so like I was thankful for that at the time, and like it was just important for me, even though I didn't make any slaps out of that spot at that time. Like it was an important stepping stone because I learned like the frustrations of sitting there. Like, I was like, bro, you don't make music in 30 minutes. It takes time. It takes time, bro. It's like scoring a film. It's an in depth process. And to get back to the studio, um, there was, it was a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
I've been making music for a very long time, taking it seriously for not as long, but still a very long time. Um, and it's important. I think one thing I do want to put out there though, and this goes for you and your group of friends, for some
Mm-hmm.
people that may be tuning in, or for my homies that I already know like very well. Like this wasn't just for me. I
Mm-hmm.
want to have a space. I want to have a creative space that's not ran like it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And even though I do contemplate sometimes taking clients, or just doing engineering work, vocal production work, mixing and whatnot, and mastering.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a lot of close homies that do that, and they run it as a business,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going very well for them, and I commend them for that. You know what I mean? Um, I do want to have a place though for artists that I take interest in.
Mm-hmm.
Like Danny, for example, or
Mm-hmm.
for my homie Aaron, for my homies Los, and everyone who I rock with. Like, I want to have a place where they can step away from their home life and be in a different environment and not feel like, oh, it's a certain amount of money, a certain amount of dollars per hour. You have 2 hours, get done what you can. I just, even though it's new and I just kind of got like finished putting it together, like, and I haven't really had too many people in it yet. Like, I just want to have a safe space where people don't feel like they're on a time limit, where people feel like they can just kind of work and just enjoy. And
Mm-hmm.
like my investment in all this equipment isn't just for myself; it's for others that I really like to listen, like who like different people whose music I really fuck with. I want to bring them through, and I want to make something out of this space, memories and sounds, and it's bigger than myself, bruh. So at the end of the day, like it's already worth it for what we're about to do in here. It's already worth it. I'm very excited. It's a very comfortable room. It's great. It has great acoustics and everything, and I think it's going to be a dope spot. But I definitely want to make sure it's for more than just myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal of this room. You know what I mean?
No.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it feels good to have it done. And I cut a couple songs from the album in here already. Got so many more fucking crazy songs on the way. And I think just being in a room that's dedicated to your craft is important. I used to
Mm-hmm.
have my studio desk right next to my bed, so I
That's a
could
lot of
never
people do.
disassociate.
Shout out to the bed in the
Exactly.
back.
No, no. Shout out
No,
to the bed in the
yeah.
back, bro. I mean, we got the couch back here, so I guess you can count that. But
Okay.
no,
The
like
nap couch, yeah.
you feel me? But no, I think that built a lot of character as well. Like being
Mm-hmm.
tired from working all night and just rolling over in a bed and crashing and waking up to your session still open and your computer hot as hell. You feel me? But no, it's nice to disassociate and like I've already experienced it. It's a fact. Like having your creative space in a different area from your living space is
Yeah.
very vital, and I want others to experience that as well. You know what I mean? So anybody is welcome. Just let me know. So
No. That's love, and that's there's a level of unselfishness that you've just displayed that is very necessary in this industry of fake competition. I want to call it. Um,
mhm.
because I like to call it fake competition because I don't believe in this is real. This isn't life or death competition. Is like if you don't get your music heard, if you don't get your video played or whatever, like your
Right,
livelihood is in question. Like your actual
right.
like health is in question.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
you bring up competition. There was something I said in my interview with Skino that
Mm-hmm.
I regret. I
Mm.
went back and I listened to it and I was like, I feel like this is a good time to bring it up.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking about like I think the question he asked me was, if you could change one thing about the industry, what would it be? And I was going through something with somebody during that day, during that weekend, and I feel like my emotions came out in that question.
Uh,
So I got to clear the air here, and I think the way I responded, I said, I wish it was. I wish this industry was a little less accessible because I
mm,
see too many people doing this or that, and I'm not fucking with it, and I hate that. But you know what? At the end of the day, bro, I was in that person's shoes at a certain time, and I think like I've done a lot of reflecting these last few weeks, and I think I think I like how accessible it is. I think everyone deserves a chance. I think everyone uh, needs the opportunity to get their voices heard. But the one caveat to that is you can't rush this.
mm,
It's a process, and you got to really enjoy the journey. And it's you're not if you're just focusing on like I need to earn a Grammy, I need to have my video with 1.5 million views on Vivo.
mm,
One day after it drops, like
uh,
those goals are all attainable. Don't get me wrong. But as long as no matter where you are, if your music is at like the lowest of the lowest levels, I'm not going to say if it's bad, but
mm,
like if your music's at the lowest of the lowest levels, if you're like at the pure beginning stages, beginner phases of this shit, like as long as you are willing to put in the work, as long as you are accepting of the work ahead of you and the journey ahead of you, 100% I commend you, just as anybody should. You feel me? So
yeah.
had to say that.
He said I had to clear the air. No, I get you. There's a
Yeah,
certain I I kind of like downplay the competition just because I like collaboration as a as a content creator, but also as like a listener and audience. But there is a level of like healthy competition that exists in this industry, and you see when it gets to unhealthy levels. But there is a level of just like,
yeah,
oh, I see Jorden Kyle going hard. I listen to the Project Enigma, and I'm like, all right, I see what bro's on now. Like, I have to come here with it. And then it's not like I'm gonna try to like annihilate you at your own game. None of that. It's like no, like I'm inspired by the work bro is putting in. I'm
right.
inspired by the quality that he's producing. That has made me go this much harder. That has made me think about this much more.
And that's what I love. Yeah, that's what I love to hear, bro. I definitely agree with you. There's for sure 100% definitely like a healthy level of competition. I'm in that with my friends, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
when Aaron be making like, cause Aaron, he has the next room over for me. So like
Yep.
it's literally my studio, then his room, then across the hall is me and my girl's room, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's a very tight knit household, and he works
Mm-hmm.
on music too. And I tell him he's welcome to use the stu whenever, and this dude's on some crazy like alternative rock vibes, bro. Like this man can scream, like bro, like I feel like I've always considered myself having like a higher tone voice, like I can hit the, you know what I mean? But like
Mm-hmm.
this dude be going crazy. He'd be doing like the full voice. He'd be cracking his voice and hitting high notes, being super loud, and like his voice definitely carries much better than mine. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, bro, like okay, maybe I gotta practice some high notes. Like he's making me want to he's making me want to go a little more crazier. So
Mm-hmm.
it's so necessary, bro. It's necessary to surround yourself with people, even if they're not like in the same lane as you.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like I have like my homie Mallah, he does photo video. When he posts a cool photo, or like he just does a sick edit, I'm just like, damn, bro, like he's a genius in his lane, just as I would like to be perceived as a genius in my lane. So it's important, bro. That healthy competition, that drive and that hunger, you gotta surround yourself with that, bro. It's necessary. If you're like stuck in like a room where like you ain't got no homies in this shit, you gotta make an effort to get out there and like really understand what's around you and continue to be inspired because that's just so necessary for your craft. You don't want to become complacent.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it's important to give credit, bro. It's important to give people their flowers. Everyone's going hard right now, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I think like ever since COVID-19 came about, like everyone's really drawn back into themselves. I noticed, like myself included, and a lot of my close homies, we literally just gave up on partying. We smoke a
Mm-hmm.
lot less, we drink a lot less, and like we kind of just grew up and like we really started going hard at our crafts. Like I take music more seriously now than I ever did, just as my homies Aaron and Los do, just as Malad does with this photo video. And I think it's so cool, bro. Like there are some days where I'm like, damn man, life ain't as lit as it used to be. But then I look at like my vault of music, bro, and I have like 47 songs in there. And I'm just like, bro, this is worth it. Everything, everything. So it's cool, bro. It's perspective,
Mm.
but it's a positive thing. for sure. So it's important to have that healthy level of competition with your friends and with your peers because that's going to push you to the next level every day. Feel me?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I agree.
Um, Something you kind of speak of. I don't know if it's purposeful, but it's almost like a
Right.
creative collaboration competition between like you and your close homies who, at this point they become your team. Like unofficial, official, like your team. Like you talk about Malad with his photos and videos. I remember one day we was over there and we had just recorded something light real
I know
quick.
exactly.
Right?
I know exactly what you're
Yeah.
about to talk about.
Milan's in the room. We got a couple other people in the room, myself, Danny, Roman, and he's like, "Yeah, let's shoot a video right now." It's
Didn't
like,
pan
oh,
out,
let's
but
plan something and like let's come back next week, right? No, he's like, nah, I'm ready. Y'all ready? I got an idea. We're going in right now. You got the bikes? We're getting the bikes. We're going. Like, I don't even know if the bikes got like air in their tires. Like, wait, we're shooting it right now.
right.
He's like, yeah, you guys ready?
You know what's
It's
hella
just that
funny about
hunger,
that, bro? I was thinking about that like 2 days ago. Like even before we planned this little interview, right? And like
Uh-huh.
the funniest thing about that, bro, that I always remember is like we go outside and like for those who are tuning in, right? Like Danny and Ron came over and we recorded this cool little trap banger. And like I think
Mm,
I had a verse, Lois had a verse, and Danny had a verse.
yep.
And we Milan's like, let's shoot a video right now. Like I don't want to wait. We go out into the parking lot of my little building. And Milad's like, "Oh shit! I didn't even think like you guys don't even know your verses yet. Like we're trying to get the lyrics right." And I'm like, "Bruh, I didn't even write this. Like I literally just freestyle line after line as we were recording, and
Mm-hmm.
like it was even though it didn't pan out, and we didn't do nothing. Like it was one of those moments where I was like, damn, bro, everyone's kind of clicked up right now. This is a cool moment, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we brewed some friendships and some connections off of that moment, and that's worth more than any music video in my book. You know what I mean? So at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the day, that was a dope night. We gotta do that again.
Now we gotta finish it, yeah. And people
I
gotta
know.
listen to their verses, and we gotta finish what we started. But it
It's
just
good.
it just goes to like speak on the fact that when you have people in your circle, like your close knit friends and like a team, if you will, like it just makes you go that much harder. Like when you see a
Hmm.
homie Malad who comes through all the time, you see, and like he's like, "No, I'm ready to go now." It like almost like drives you up. Like, wait, nah, he's on 10 with it.
He's
I need
he's
to
such
be
an
at least
organized
10.
he's such an organized person, and sometimes
Mm,
it'd be given. I mean, hopefully he hears this. He'll think it's funny. My other homies will think it's funny. Sometimes it gives me anxiety how organized he is because he be crossing all of his T's and dotting all of his I's, and I do too. But that man's like he's on like God level with it, bro. Like this man
mm.
will send me notes at like 3 a.m. He's like, yeah, I'm practicing for a marathon, but let me get these notes off to you right quick. I'm like, bro, this man does not rest, bro. His mind is moving a mile a minute, and like mine is too. I definitely have tapped into that like hustle mentality. I'm
Mm-hmm.
working on something every day now. If it's not a song, it's a TikTok. If it's
Mm-hmm.
a IG post. It's it's video ideas. It's we're working on an album documentary, and when you
Mm.
guys slid to the studio that night to my homie Jorden's studio in Fremont,
Yeah.
we got some clips from that night, which is going to be dope. So we're putting that out soon. But that dude, man, he's just a workhorse, bro, and I respect it. And he goes just as hard in his professional life at his job as he does in his artistic life, and that's
Mm.
that's dope, bro. I respect that. That man works 24/7 too. So yeah, that was funny you bring that up. That was a fun ass night.
It was,
Hella funny
we got to do that again. If not,
for
finish what
sure.
we started. Come through something from scratch and attack the idea
Yeah, I
like
mean,
Malak was
I
saying and
got
just
I
kill
got
it.
the room now, so I got the
Okay.
room with a nice 3-person couch. It's a much bigger space now. So please, you and Danny, welcome anytime. Let's do it.
It's up.
Ready?
It's up. And I can't let you out of here without speaking on collaboration. You know, we talk about Malad, we talk about Los, talk about Rome, we talk about Danny. Even this, right here, what we're doing is an active collaboration. Speak upon what it means to you to work with other creatives.
It's a privilege, bro. That's the best. That's like the most simplified definition I can give it. Is it's a privilege to work with others.
Hmm.
I think, like I was mentioning earlier, it's important to get out of your head, get out of your own way. I have a tendency to be very stuck in my ways. Um, I think it's good to just get those extra perspectives, especially when it comes to creativity. Um, I really cherish my friends. I really cherish my professional connections. They're definitely a rarity nowadays.
Mm.
It's hard to make friends. It's hard to make homies after you leave college. Because you get into your schedule. You're working a 9 to 5, or you're in your same space recording, and you kind of have. If you could put a GPS on my whip, bro, like I go the same path. I wake up, I go to Pete's, I get my latte and shit. I come back, I work for a couple hours. I turn that shit off and I start making some beats or recording some verses, some hooks, whatever. And
Yep.
maybe I go get some dinner with my lady. And I mean, on weekends I'm doing different shit. But if you put a GPS on Civic, bro, during the week, it's the same path. I'm barely
Yep.
moving. You feel me? But it's good to be grounded. But at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the day, you need to bring those people into your environment, and you need to also make an effort to go into other people's environments. Like when we met up with Jerome, like that was a 2 hour drive. I'm always
Mm-hmm.
willing to make that trip though, because if someone's investing time into me, bro, that is not only is that a privilege, that is like a blessing. You feel me? So I will never turn down any opportunity. Like I don't care if I'm invited to a show and there's gonna be two heads in the crowd, I'm gonna do it, bro, because it's bro, like what? Like what do you like? You're telling me I'm gonna turn this down to like sit in my room and watch like the Netflix? Nah, bro. Like
Nah.
I am down for whatever. If it has to do with my passion, bro, music, like I'm with that. Especially if I'm
Yep.
bringing some others along or meeting up with people like you and Danny. We don't kick it all the time. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't kick it with y'all very often, but every time we meet up, it's good vibes. It's all love, and I be watching from afar, just like you guys be watching us from afar, and those connections are important, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially like with a lot of people being negative towards outsiders. You know what I mean? Like, I don't trust nobody. I don't. That used to be me, bro. I used to be like, I don't trust nobody. I don't like nobody. Nah, dude, that's a loser mentality, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You got to let people into your world. You got to go into others' worlds, and you got to mix those mindsets and those ideas. It's important. It keeps you fresh. You feel me? You got to get your feet wet, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta wrestle. You gotta get down and dirty with other artists. You gotta understand their worlds. It's important, bro. Put your own life into perspective, because you can kick it with someone. You can be like, damn, this person did this, and I think I could like switch my mindset. And I take a little piece of everybody. Like one
Mm-hmm.
thing I noticed about like my manager DEO, that dude works, bro. He works. He commutes every day to his studio.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why he moved away is because he wanted a safe place for his fam, and he is very cemented in his community, bro. That man's a legend in SF. You feel me? And like
Yep.
he has a lot of people that love him and fuck with him. And if I were to be in his shoes, I would do the same thing. You gotta have your community. You gotta plant yourself somewhere, and you gotta go hard, and you gotta let people into your environment. That's how you grow a city, bro. That's how cities boom. That's how like Detroit with all the new artists coming out. Like I think Doug's from Detroit, right? And Boldy James and all those people. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're all in that circle, bro. You look at like labels like Dreamville, TDE. They're all in circles, and they all let each other into each other's worlds, and that's how it blossomed into a whole thing. So as a creative, you can't turn that down because it's important, and you gotta rock with people because you would want them to
100%.
do the same for you. So that's what it is.
Yep. We was talking about this a little bit earlier. No one remembers the nights they got a lot of sleep. You know,
Yeah. We
no
were
one
talking about
remembers the
before the interview
nights.
started. We were talking about sleep for like 20 minutes, but we had some important points.
You
I
know.
think I think the most important point about that was you gotta sometimes like if you're a person who wakes up at a certain time, goes to bed at a certain time, you gotta break that sometimes. Like I'm cool with losing a little bit of sleep and sacrificing my energy for the following day if it means
Mm-hmm.
I can wake up that morning and listen to the music I made last night, or have a video or something that I posted with a homie that we stayed up late. We posted a freestyle or some shit, and like that's on the gram now. It's on the talks thread, and like it's cool, bro. Those are things that last forever. But a lack of sleep only bothers you for about 24 hours.
Yep.
You feel
Lack
me?
of sleep. Coffee. You get enough coffee. You get enough. Energy drinks. Danny likes. What he likes. He likes the yerbs. Whatever your choice to
Bro, the
caffeine
yerbs.
is.
I remember. Yeah, I remember last time we linked up. He's like, "Hey, you got any yerbas around you?" I'm like,
No,
"Shit,
that dude
yep,
is a
we do."
fiend. When he
It's all
listens
good,
to
bro.
this,
That's
I
hot.
want to let him know that he is a fiend. Stop it. Get some help.
You gotta help. Get some help, bro. That's
No,
so
but
funny, bro.
yeah, it's all love though. I mean,
Nah,
I appreciate you coming on. I got one more overarching question if you down for it, Jorden
yeah, of
Kyle.
course, bro. Please ask away.
When it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered by when you leave this earth?
Thank you for asking that. That's my overarching goal in music. Is I think I mentioned this when I dropped my album and I wrote the caption on Instagram. I said the goal for me now is no longer to pop off.
Mm,
Like if I stay at this level of popularity forever, it is what it is. But the one thing I will not leave this earth without doing or accomplishing is being respected and remembered for my craft.
mm,
If that's by a small handful of people, if that's by the masses, whatever it is, bruh, bring it. So be it. I just want to be remembered for my craft. I want people to look back on my legacy as someone who, just always asked the hard questions, always went for the quirky beat switches or the interesting cadences or, just had cool song titles or who wrote about cool things and who had a dope artistic image. It's a pretty simple goal. And I think that's why I'm happier now is because I'm achieving that and I'm attaining that every single day. I think it's important. Everyone always thinks of goals as like far off things. Like, oh, I need to get a Grammy. I need to sell 1 million records. I want to get co-signed by Cole or by Kendrick or something like that.
mm.
But my goal, I'm achieving it every day, bro. I'm just having a good time and I'm enjoying the process. And that I would say once you can tap into that, once you can make your goals, I still got future goals, but once you can also add present goals, things you're already achieving to that, make sure you get that every day and you're going to be a happy person. You feel me?
Happiness is definitely achieved by just realizing your present state and being appreciative of your
Yeah,
present state and things that you are doing, that reach your further goals, but the things that you can do every day to, accomplish them. So I appreciate you saying that.
exactly.
Appreciate you coming on the platform, giving us your perspective, your mentality. Now I'm gonna lob it up. What you talk about what you've been doing 2022 and what you got coming up beyond.
Cool.
Plug.
And I appreciate the time, brother. You want me to just go on a spiel about what I've been doing?
It's,
All right.
it's your time. Yeah, you got the microphone. I'm gonna
It's
mute
good.
myself.
No,
What's
I
up?
appreciate it, Ron. Thank you. Yeah,
Yep.
thank you again for your time, bro. I think interviews are a dime a dozen, and I love doing them. I love speaking on the craft. But yeah, let's dive into it. So I just dropped my album, Enigma. It's on all platforms. Came out this past Friday on the 26th of August.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on that tape for so many years, bro. I think I started the first song right when I was transferring to SF State. So that was like February of 2018. Bro, I had a comb over, bro. I had a bald face, no piercings. I used to wear Calvin Klein and like Van slip-ons every day. You feel me, bro? I did not know who the fuck I was, but I found myself throughout the process of the album. Um, I'm just so proud of it, bro. It's at the end of the day, like no matter what it does, like I'm gonna market the hell out of it, like going forward. It's out.
Mm-hmm.
That was step one.
Yep.
People, like I was saying earlier, people think album releases are the end of the line.
It's
No, no,
beginning.
no, 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 bro. You get that's the night is young, my friend. You got a
Mm-hmm.
long journey ahead of
Yep.
you. So that's what I said, bro. I'm gonna do some grassroots guerrilla marketing. I'm gonna go to the city with tapes and demos and business cards, and I'm gonna get my face out there, and I'm gonna get spit up and chewed out. But I'm
Yep.
gonna get a little bit of love too. I'm manifesting that. But anyway,
Yep.
yeah, bro. I put the album out, 10 songs, a lot of different vibes. I have this crazy song on there. It's the final song. It's called "The Maze." I'm not sure if you've listened to it yet.
Yeah.
I really want everyone to listen to that. Everyone's been telling me that's like a diamond in the rough on the album, and I'm really
Mm.
proud of that. I sat in my room for 18 hours straight and worked on that and didn't take a break.
Sheesh.
It was interesting, bro. So much automation on that track. For any
So
musicians
many
that know what
different
that is, like,
vibes. So much.
bro,
There's a lot going on in that
yeah,
track.
for sure.
Like,
But yeah, I hope everyone gets a chance to listen to that track, if not the rest of the album. But album's out, Enigma. Check me out, all streaming platforms. Jorden Kyle. It's Jorden, not an E, space Kyle, Enigma. So I just put that out. Like I said, I'm just gonna be marketing it. Got videos on the way, and I think right now is besides the album, just enjoying the studio, bro, and enjoying my peace and quiet. You feel me? I'm
mm,
not trying to bother nobody. I'm just trying to, like I was saying earlier, I think one thing I want to definitely do is just keep learning,
mm,
keep immersing myself in the culture and giving flowers to those who deserve it, like the pioneers of this game and everything. And I think a personal goal is I just want to like I said, just be more of a listener, bro. I want to learn, and I don't always want to be at the forefront. I don't always want to be the person speaking or having attention. on me. But yeah, I think just going forward, bro, I'm just gonna be pushing the hell out of this album and just being a learner and a listener, bro. And just continuing to grow. And I'm trying to make this music shit a full time gig, and I'm just trying to collaborate, bro. I'm trying to work with more artists. So you know what it is. Like if anyone listens to the album, listens to the other songs I put out, and they rock with me, hit me up, bro. I'm always down to work, and I'm trying to. I'm at a time in my life right now where I've carved out a lot of personal time to work on this. And I'm proud of that. I'm balancing my two professional lives very well. I'm very happy with the balance I got going on right now, and I'm on to the next. Maybe it's a project, maybe it's singling things out for a couple years and just dropping song after song, but we're gonna figure it out. I'm ready to release more and to keep working. So hope everyone chance to peep that album. Let me know what you think, and we're gonna keep rocking. You feel me? That's all.
It's
That's
all
all I
said.
got for
It's
him.
all done. Jorden Kyle, Enigma, out on all streaming platforms now. New music on the way soon. Ish.
Yes, sir.
After we get the guerrilla marketing out the way and we get some more studio time, collaborators hit us up.
Yeah.
We in the streets, literally
Yes,
and
sir. Yeah.
metaphorically. But
We out here
I
with
just,
it, bro. I'm an accessible person. You can reach me. I'm not a ghost. I am not an industry plant. I am watering
industry
this tree, my
plant
friend.
Jorden Kyle. We starting it up now. We don't know how we got this interview now.
I've been making music for about a week, bro. I'm
Yeah.
learning. I'm learning. I wrote my first verse. I'm enjoying it. No, I'm just playing.
He said
No,
four
man. Like
years of making
I,
music. We started last week.
I know, bro. I know for real. I'm a very accessible dude, bro. If anyone likes the album, they want to work, or they want beats, or they want to just talk, bro, hit me up. I am here.
No, it's all peace and it's all love, and I appreciate you too, bro.
Of course.
Any closing words you want to give to the people before you out of here?
Yeah, just I'm thankful. I appreciate everyone, whoever watches this, whether it's 5 minutes of it, a second of it, the whole thing. Just thank you for tuning in. Thank you for caring about my journey. I'm really appreciative. It means more than you can imagine. And yeah, I'm just happy to be able to create, bro. It's a privilege, and yeah, it is what it is, bro. I think that's about it. I'm happy to have an album out. I'm happy to be healthy, and I'm happy to have homies that have mediums like this, like where we can come and talk about this shit. It's I keep using the word. It's a privilege. I'm very appreciative for it. So hope everyone rocks with the music and everyone stay healthy, bro, and just keep living. Yeah.
Yep. Likewise, I'd like to thank everybody who took a moment out of their day or night or evening,
Oh yeah.
morning, whatever you have to stop by and hear two creators talk. You rocking with it, support the platform in any way you can. Follow, like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. It's peace and love. Remain a student of the game. Remain grateful and respect your evolution. It's all love, everybody. I'll catch y'all next time.
All right, y'all. Appreciate it. Catch y'all.